Okay, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of On the Wrist from Off the Cuff. To have a really special kind of behind the scenes look at the studio. For those of you that are fans of the channel, you've probably noticed various Seiko clocks in the background. I've reviewed many of them, and I actually had a bit of a refresh for 2026, and I just set these up, so I thought why not do a kind of a little mini review of kind of each new edition. So for those of you who might have already seen some of these clocks, hey, that's cool. And then for those of you that are like, hey, what happened to the other one that I'm used to seeing? Well, then that's even more fun. A little about these clocks. They're, of course, from Seiko. They were founded back in 1881. They're Japanese in origin, factories throughout Asia. They cover all market segments from entry level to high end, and even make clocks. So there's going to be 4 different Seiko clocks we'll be reviewing today. There are going to be more than 4 that you're going to see in scene here because some of them are old and I've already reviewed them. But the ones that are new, we're going to go ahead and go over a lot of those details, get into some of the specifications and maybe even the use cases, just so you guys can kind of get a look at them and what they look like if they were, out on display. So with all that said, let's go ahead, zoom in, and get a closer look at each one of these new additions. Okay, the first one we're going to take a look at is this heritage design clock in the black colorway. It's big in style, big in personality, big in time. It makes a bold statement with that Seiko Wall Clock set up there, hung up nicely. It's the one that's centered there, so we'll just focus on that because this is the newest edition. It does give you that iconic design with that oversized amount of impact, and of course it's inspired by the look of popular men's divers watches from the brand. And yeah, the cool thing is that this is going to have some nice serious timekeeping. That loom there actually works. It's going to be pretty tough for me to demonstrate, but I'll do my best. So the loom does loom there, which is Lumabrite, which is great. It's actually about 19.5 inches, so this is quite large. You can see it's kind of dwarfing the other clocks next to it. But I think this one's really cool. It definitely gives me kind of Darth Tuna style vibes. Very clear, very legible, very bold, without being too, far-fetched and cartoony. Obviously, something like this is going to look much better in a garage type of setting versus, your typical kitchen or office space. It's probably going to be a bit more thematic. For a man cave or a garage is going to work a lot better. But I think it looks great, and I definitely was happy to get it swapped out. Of course, I'm big on divers, but yeah, this one just has a little bit of a fun aesthetic. I like the pop of red as well, but let's go ahead and actually try to get the loom showcased. Okay, obviously, it's tough for me to get this thing charged up, so I'm just going to use a black light so you can see there, just kind of more optimal. I think it's cool, obviously a bit of a novelty, but I think it looks great. It's very cool. I wish it did have a loomed 12 o'clock pip. I think that would have been a nice touch, of course. But as you guys can see, I think it's very cool that it is loomed. And again, it just kind of hits that dive watch inspired sweet spot for me. Okay, so next up we do have this desk table clock in the brown colorway, and it's all about bringing the park inside, just adding a dash of charm to your workspace with this delightful Seiko Desk Table Clock. It's a playful timepiece that sits atop a stylish metal aluminum pole, complete with a fun artificial grass base. Definitely kind of gives me golfer vibes. So if maybe the Seiko lover or watch collector in your life also plays golf, I feel like that's something that's a whole lot of fun that I think they'll be able to enjoy. It is pretty bold, but I don't think, again, this one is nice. It's not overly themed or stylized. I think this could kind of go anywhere. And I think the size is unique, right? I think this is great for, whether it be at home or on a desk or nightstand. This is something that's kind of fun. And then again, you do have that little patch of grass at the bottom for, when you're feeling the need to go out and touch grass, you can have a little bit of a patch there. Dimensions wise, it's going to be 2.5 about by 3.5. And then, about 3.3. So interesting, size range there in terms of the dimensions. It is quite tall. which I probably don't have the actual height for when it's, you know, and all the way extended. But that height is more so just the clock itself there at the top versus it on the stand. On the stand, it is quite tall. I'll make sure to try to get the dimensions across the screen here in a bit. So this one's cool. What do you guys think? Golf lovers, park lovers, it just gives you a fun kind of vibe, and I think it's very clean. I like the Arabic numerals as well. Okay, here we have this really classy desk and table clock in the silver tone. Actually, I probably haven't been mentioning the prices. I'll put the prices down in the description if you're looking for those. But this one definitely has a traveler's vibe to it. You know, and you've probably seen similar models like this from Seiko, but this is actually a bit more affordable and a bit smaller in size, which is nice, which makes it a little bit more versatile. You can see it there next to a standard size mug. Very similar. So this is nice. It's not intrusive. It's not going to take up a lot of space, but it is going to give you some fun options. You even do get a bit of a world traveler style there in terms of the setup, and you can actually rotate. Let me see if I can get this here. You can rotate this section for a bit of a world time there. I don't know how it all works, but I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. I think it's very handsome. And yeah, I think it's a pretty cool one. They also have it in a gold tone. All of these are typically going to be available in different colors and tones and options. Definitely check the links down in the description. I'll try to make it as easy as possible. Obviously, these don't have super memorable nomenclatures or naming conventions. So it's just going to be really the part numbers that are relative. So if you are interested, definitely check the links down in the description. So with that said, let's move on to the final clock here. Okay, guys, last and final here. We have this rotating heritage bezel clock, and it is orange and silver. It looks like a Seiko Monster, which I think is really cool. It's a modern alarm clock in this kind of really cool setup there. We have reviewed quite a few of these style of clocks before, but this one adds a really neat new feature. Let's go ahead and check it out. Hopefully I can keep it nice and visible here. Check this out. Ooh, rotating bezel. How neat is that? So you do have a little spot for a light there. I think that's very cool. I believe this does loom as well. So why don't we set that up so we can really highlight it. Okay, so if I hit it with the black light, you can see that it is loomed pretty nicely. But another nice feature is that if you actually hit the light on there, it also somehow reacts really well, and you can get a nice quick little view. So very cool. I'm digging that one. Random Rob needs one of these if he doesn't already have one. All right, guys, so not too many to go over. Of course, there's some, again, that you might have seen. If you felt like they were left out, definitely do check the channel description or just search the links down in the description for those particular items and you can get all the good details on them. I will leave details and specs for each model that was highlighted here today. Big shout out to Seiko Clocks here in the USA for sending over these pieces for me to highlight for you all, as well as to update my studio backdrop with. So with that said, closing thoughts, guys, these are a lot of fun, whether it's a personal purchase for your own desk, nightstand, or wall, right? But it's also, I think, a really creative and relatively inexpensive gift option for any fellow watch collector in your life, right? Because it's really hard to buy somebody a wristwatch, even if they are huge into one particular brand. That can be very price prohibitive, even if they're a big Seiko collector. Not everybody has, you know, $500 to drop on a Seiko 5 or to go hunt down, you know, a more affordable option. So I think that that's pretty cool. That, yeah, I mean, the most expensive ones you saw here today were about $210. And again, yeah, it's something quite different that I think will add to anybody's collection versus something where if it's an actual wristwatch, then you're figuring, am I competing with somebody else, this, or that, other timepieces. Now you can get that watch lover in your life a nice gift that I think is going to really resonate with them. But let me know what you all think down in the comments below. If you like the video, please hit like. And if you're already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.